it's Doris with All the Books, and I'm here with my Friday reads. I finished 3 books this week, and the first of those was The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane by Lisa C. This book follows the Aka minority group in China from the late 80s, when our main character is about 10 years old, through her adult years, on into current times, let's say. And it's just fascinating. First off, this is a tribe that even in 1988 were completely unexposed to modern technology and lifestyles. Just really tiny tribe up in the mountains growing tea, and wow, it was very interesting to read that. The girls' teen years were awkward. I found it very awkward reading, but the rest of it was fabulous, completely fabulous. I cried. I did. I bought into all of it. So Lisa C's books, she does a lot of research, and she kind of creates a story around her research, so you can see that, but I found it very, very interesting reading. And Lindsey has done a much better review of this, so I will link you to her so you can learn a lot more about it. She talks about the themes in the book, and just great stuff. So that was one. The next one is The Idiot by Elif Butterman. This one was on the short list for the Women's Prize for Fiction, and I believe it was the runner-up for the Pulitzer as well. This is a very polarizing novel in that some people love it and some people think it's just plain silly. I loved it. I think I was hesitant to read it because I'd heard so many negative comments, and I thought it would be a slog fest, but I really, really loved it. So this is basically a young girl of Turkish descent, her first year at Harvard, and it's just written as her year unfolds. This was the most authentic depiction of an intellectual girl's first year of college life. Yeah. So let me just tell you some of the things that, if you like these things, you would like this book. If you are into linguistics, if you are into teaching English to second language learners, if you are probably in college yourself right now, or recently graduated, or you have vivid memories of that period of time in your life, if you're into travel, all those things, you would love this. Now, here are the things that you would not like. If you don't like these things, don't read this book. There's not much plot development. It's, set from, the beginning of her freshman year through that summer, and just kind of a rambling unfolding of what she does, but no real destination. And I would say there's not much character development either. You just follow her life as it unfolds, and she does, go through some things and come out at the end, but yeah, there's not much character development that I personally witnessed. What there is, and I think this is, besides the other things that I spoke of, what resonated with me was, this is a story of a girl's first real crush. And not, your typical, oh God, I want him crush. this is just a more intellectual focus, you know, finding someone that you greatly admire and mesh with and wanting to be with them. Yeah. So I really love this book, but it's totally a niche book. So if you don't like it, first 30 pages, you're probably not going to. So there you go. And it is, you know, a gorgeous millennial pink, and my son is fascinated by the rock on the cover. So the next one I read was Astronaut Carolina by Dorothy Allison. This is a much loved Southern lit novel. I believe it was written in the 90s. You're following an impoverished Southern family, not just the nuclear family, but the extended family, all the aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents. And it's very well written. It deals with child abuse and sexual abuse. That is definitely in there. It's written with sensitivity and very, very realistic. You can totally see this happening, and it's totally written to let people know that this does happen, and if it happened to you, you know, you're not alone, kind of thing. So I did see that in the book. My problem with that is that I felt like some of that had to be explained in the afterword that was written after the novel was written, and I feel like it should have been more prominent and readable in the novel itself. I felt that there were a lot of things that were just random. The things that were just random in the book, and they didn't make a thematic connection with me. I just couldn't connect with the novel in that way, which is a way that I like to connect with literary fiction. So the interesting thing, you know, last week I finished Wes, which I thought was brilliant. And this was a book that you could read it on the surface level and enjoy it, and also read it deeper thematically and symbolically, and I just really, really reveled in that with this book. And then with The Idiot, same thing, but with The Idiot, I just read this one on a surface level. I enjoyed it so much on the surface level and just reconnecting with my college experience that I didn't even bother with anything deeper, and it was great that way. This one is the same way. You can connect with the story or deeper thematically and symbolically. It's literary fiction work, and I connected with it on neither level. So this one, it just didn't work for me, but I can see why people love it. It reminded me of Unburied Sing, actually, which I have spoken about not liking as well. And then currently reading, I am reading, I'm listening to In the Country We Love by Diane Guerrero. I saw this on Heidi's channel a couple weeks ago, or maybe even last week, and decided to just jump in with it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this. It brought me to tears at one point. The girl is living in the States. It's very pertainable to current times. Her parents are both immigrants from, I think it was Colombia. But they're non-documented immigrants. The mother, from the time the girl is like 10 or 12, gets deported a couple times, and then by the time she is 14, both parents are permanently deported. And this girl, I mean, she lives with a couple of different friends of the family and stays in the States, but I just was looking at my son and reading the part where the girls in 8th grade, her parents are still in the States at this point in time, but she's making these serious decisions and, you know, doing the research and getting into a magnet high school all on her own. I cannot imagine my kid. I mean, I think people rise to the occasion and children rise to the occasion, but it just broke my heart that she had to go through that on her own like that. And I'm currently reading, and there are trigger warnings for self-harm and suicidal thoughts in this as well, depression. I wasn't expecting all of that, and I'm just blown away by the depth of character in this book. It's not a brilliant literary read, but it's solid. But the depth of character of this girl, she's woman. She is she was in Orange is the New Black. I don't watch television really, so I didn't really know who she is, but she's in something else as well. But it's her memoir. Great read, great read. Okay, and I'm also still hanging with Katherine by Anya Seton. This is, you know, some of that royal monarchy stuff from, I think, was it 1300s or 1400s? I don't know. King, here, let me show you the family tree. Ooh, this is great. I'm reading this with Bree Hill and Katie of Katie's Book Nook, and we are all enjoying it. And I just started the 5th season a few days ago. I'm reading this one with Stephanie of Time to Read, and I am so glad I'm reading this with Stephanie because she's awesome. But also, this book is very complicated. So I'm glad that I'm reading it with someone who can help me remember things and figure things out, because gosh, this is complex. Really enjoyable, but complex. So yeah, that's what I've got going on today. Probably gonna pick out a couple more books this evening, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and I will be back soon. Bye.